Hello everyone, I am Les. Welcome to projectmanagerhelper.com. Today we are going to make a prediction. We are going to find out whether or not I have diabetes with a high degree of certainty. We're going to do that by using multilinear regression. It's one of our tools in projectmanagerhelper.com. We have many others and we invite you to take a look at them. So the first thing you're going to do is find enough data to make an accurate prediction. So you can find all sorts of medical data or other data online in many websites. I found a 100,000 sample size of patients for diabetes. And then the next thing I did was I normalized the data. I removed the letters and words and I made it all numbers. So if there's a yes or a no, the yes could be a 1, the no could be a 0. So for hypertension or heart disease, you can make that conversion there. Next thing, once you have a curated data set, you can generate a random column on Excel and sort by it to help you with sampling. So what it does is scrambles the data randomly, so you can select a sample of 1,000 instead of 100,000 to make your calculations a little bit smoother. Additionally, if you have states, for example, this data has states and I try replacing the states with quantifiable data such as that particular state's pollution or air quality number as well as water quality numbers, but it did not have a correlation with diabetes, so I eliminated it from my data set. Still, it's a fun exercise. So once you randomize your data, select 1,000 observations. You can do less or more, up to you. Then go to projectmanagerhelper.com and select multivariable regression. Next step will be to paste your Excel sheet information into the text field there. Once you have it, import the Excel data and it will automatically expand the variables to include all the ones that you pasted. Make sure you include the names of each variable as well. It will automatically import that. Make sure data populated correctly. It looks like it did. Next step, we're going to select the dependent variable. So what are we trying to predict? In this case, we want to find out if I have diabetes or not. So that's going to be the last one at the bottom. It's a value of 0, 1. What that means is that we should not use linear regression. Instead, we're going to use logic regression, which is something we can do with this particular tool in projectmanagerhelper.com. So follow the recommendation, select from the drop down logic regression, and then calculate regression. Alright, looks like we have our statistical data here. As you can see, my Faden's R-square is really high. Typically you want between 0.2 and 0.4, which means it's a very strong model. In this case it's 60, so way higher, which means the fit of the data is excellent and you can definitely use it to predict whether a patient has diabetes, a diabetes diagnosis based off the other variables. So I already know my age, whether I have hypertension, heart disease, my BMI, A1C, and glucose levels from the last time I had a lab work done, so I'm just going to enter it here. 33 years old, I do not have hypertension, so that's a 0. I do not have heart disease, so that's a 0. My BMI is 25. My last A1C level was 5.1 and my blood glucose level at the time of testing was 110. Now just predict, and drum roll, looks like there's a 0.4 chance that I have diabetes. So looks like the answer is no, I don't have diabetes, so that's good. You can now just look at the R-square, still 60.92, so a very strong predictor of diabetes. So there's a very high likelihood that I don't have diabetes per the model, and I don't, so it makes sense. You can now select the export and it will generate a report of what you did, what you measured, your independent variables, dependent variables, all of the values, how strong the predictions were, etc., the charts for your regression model. You can also predict for someone else since you already have the model loaded. So in this case, let's see if we want to find out if someone who's a little bit older does have hypertension and heart disease, or does not have heart disease. BMI is 27, a little bit higher. A1C levels, a little bit higher. And blood glucose, let's call it 170. Now you would expect that that probability will go up. And yep, so basically 50% chance that this patient will have a diabetes diagnosis. You can play around with these numbers just to see how the prediction adjusts based on your training data and your new values. So if we raise the A1C to 7.5 and we increase the glucose level a little bit, now you would expect the prediction to go up. Yep, and it did. 85% chance now. Now if you want to make the patient have also heart disease and test again, yep, again it increased. Now we're at a 93% chance that this person with these metrics has diabetes. You can generate a new report if you like. For this one though, I also want to find out if we can predict using multivariable linear regression the patient's age if we know everything else about the patient. So let's see if we can do that. Select out of logic into multilinear regression, because we're not looking for just a yes or no, we're looking for an age, so that could be any number. Run the calculations, and looks like the R square is 20, which is not great, but it's not terrible. It certainly has a little bit of predictive value. You can see here the predicted versus actual versus predictive values in your graph. Now let's see how close to the truth data it gets if we try to predict my age. Per this coefficient, per this R square, it should get not exact, but I think it'll get within 10 years of my age, because it still has some predictive properties. Also, you can select which data to exclude. So if you want to take out A1C levels and blood glucose out of your model and rerun the regression, it should strengthen the R square. It should strengthen the predictive power of this model. I will not do that for this one. I'll just run it as is, but just know that you can tweak the variables as you see fit. So I don't have hypertension, I don't have heart disease, BMI is 25, my A1C levels were 5.1, blood glucose 110, and I don't have diabetes. So predict, and it thinks I'm 37 years old. Not bad. So within 4 or 5 years of my true age, that's pretty decent and about what I would expect for an R square of 20. And then again, you can generate the report which shows the charts and how the statistical analysis was performed. Thank you for watching. Go to projectmanagerhelper.com and play around with this and any other tool.